good. Okay.
Welcome to our Redox workshop. Redox has changed my life. It's the most exciting new breakthrough in health, and we're excited to be able to tell you about it. To begin with, we're going to start with a short video that gives a brief orientation to why it's so exciting. It's called Real Redox Results. There are actually two sister sites. One is .com, one is .biz, and we're going to the .com one today, which especially focuses on the products and the people's stories who have been using the products. Both of the websites have the word Redox for a password, so you can go back and look at these whenever you like.
Oops, sorry, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. So just a moment, just to get get things working right. Thank you for your patience. Let's see if this lets me actually go to the link now. There, it did.
Looks good.
So we'll just invite you to watch with us the Real Redox Results Overview. And when you come back later, you can take a moment to look at the different issues on the left side of the page to see what ones you're curious about.
My name is Alan Noble, and welcome to RealRedoxResults.com. On this website, you have access to lots of videos of real people sharing real results that they've experienced using ASEA's advanced redox signaling technology. You can simply browse through the videos or pick a particular subject that is important to you. However, if this is your first introduction to ASEA, then allow me to give you a brief overview so you can better understand why people are experiencing such amazing results. ASEA Redox represents a cutting-edge health and anti-aging technology, a new category in science that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. A technology that many experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime. A great place to start is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It is not a vitamin, a mineral, antioxidant, exotic juice, essential oil, or CBD oil. In fact, this technology goes beyond nutrition and ingredients, and yet can impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. To grasp this breakthrough, you must understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells pass tremendous amounts of important information throughout the body. Any breakdown in this communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. A simple example, your home goes on fire and you call the fire department. They have the fire truck, firefighters, fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. However, if you don't have a good cell signal, they don't get the message and your home goes up in flames. Well, it's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. ASEA Redox is the world's first redox signaling supplement that harnesses the power of the same redox signaling molecules that your body uses for this critical signaling process. This astonishing technology with 2 delivery systems, the ASEA Redox drink and the topical gel, Renew 28, has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there is nothing else like it in the world. In a recent independent 8-week study with Torre Laboratories, a leading genetic research lab, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular and digestive health, as well as hormone balance. So at this point, let's take a listen to what health and medical professionals are saying about ASEA's redox signaling technology.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendations I ever make to a patient. They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. You can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough. This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
So as you can hear, ASEA Redox truly is being hailed as the most significant health science breakthrough of our lifetime. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength, and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a recent university study, mice drinking ASEA for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts as their bodies started to burn more fat as fuel. And I'm sure you've heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, this same technology, when applied to the skin, results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging, all while using the body's natural renewal processes. I want to thank you for taking some time and watching this brief overview. I would now encourage you to explore some of the other videos featuring people that I've had the pleasure of interviewing over the last year or so. Real people sharing real redox results. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
Oops. That's not the right one. Excuse me. There we go.
There we go. So whether it's a phone and you want to have good cell service, or whether it's your body and you want to have good cell service, it's important and it makes a difference. My husband, Brand, is a mountain man. And even on our honeymoon, we were out in the mountains. But it's one of the places that just makes our marriage stronger. We love to be out in nature. And we were in the Sierras hiking, and I got to the point where I was so tired. I was always the last in the group. My body hurt. If I got up above 8,000 feet, I just had trouble breathing. And it was a disappointing hike that we went on. I told him that I thought next time maybe he should just take good pictures. Well, he said, what if I take ASEA? So here we are out again. And the picture there on the left, we went on one of the hardest hikes we've ever been on. We were mostly 8,000 to 10,000 feet, and I could breathe, I could hike. We did rock climbing. It was fabulous, thanks to ASEA.
Thank you, Marian. These are pictures from Beth Wofford. She had a colt that came in one morning with a 4-inch long jagged wound, and it was already too late to try to stitch it up. And it was so tender to the touch that she couldn't apply the gel either. So she just sprayed it with the Redox liquid several times a day, no other treatment. And the photos above were taken at 24 hours, 5 days, 10 days, and 16 days. The healing was done in a fraction of the time that a wound like this usually takes.
One of the special parts of being in the ASEA family is meeting fantastic people. Schonberg has the biggest heart, compassionate man. He, as you can see, is an athlete. And unfortunately, he got to the point in his career where he could only train 5 hours a day. And even at doing that, he was living on ibuprofen. His body just hurt all the time. And he wanted to have one last Ironman. Someone introduced him, and he had taken it for about 7 weeks. And he took 58 minutes off of the Ironman. He said usually after an Ironman, he'd have to go into the health tent, get an IV, and rest. And then he'd be out of work for a couple of weeks recovering. That particular one, he didn't have to go to the tent. He felt great. He sat and watched the race for 4 or 5 hours. And he did take one day off of work. And then Tuesday, he went back to work and started training. And the next weekend, he was on another run. So it just gave him the power to be able to do what he loves. And we're just thrilled for him.
Very inspiring. Well, on a different note, this is Rosie. And at the age of 84, she began using the Redox, 4 ounces of the Redox daily, and using 2 tubes of Renew 28 monthly. She didn't think it was doing anything for her. And fortunately, her son had taken a before picture. And at 7 weeks, he showed them to her, and she thought, well, maybe there is something going on. And you can see as she's continued to utilize the products that she's actually reversed aging. At 91, she's looking better than ever, and quite an inspiration to us all.
Tonight, we're very fortunate to have Jerry White with us. Jerry is the one who introduced me to ASEA. I taught his children in kindergarten, and we've been friends for a long time. He was the head research physical therapist at the Shriners Hospital and was founder of the Performance and Gait Analysis LAB, taking care of these beautiful children who had so many health challenges, brave kids. He was also adjunct professor of biomechanics and physiology. He's a swim and triathlon coach and athlete himself. He's on the medical board for ASEA and is an Ambassador Diamond, one of our top leaders, and he's in our ASEA Millionaires Club. Welcome, Jerry.
Hi. You know, when I first started working with the kids at the shrine, I was so impressed by the bravery of those little guys. And so it touched my heart. And when I saw this technology, there was always a place for those little guys in my head. And just this last week, we had a friend whose little boy dumped a coffee on his foot.
Oh,
And
oh,
he took him in and said, this is going to involve skin grafting and weekly visits. The other picture is 11 days later.
wow.
What this technology does is it reminds the cells how they used to work, even back in the embryo when they built the body in the first place. Can you imagine? I could. Once I saw it, I just had a passion. I had to get it out. But I also have a passion for helping people find what their potential is. And this opportunity allows us to gather together as a group of human beings with a beating heart, with an eye on trying to find what it's like to put people together and have their God-given talents shared for the good of all. When I first was introduced to this, I was working too much. I didn't have a lot of physical problems other than annoying things that kept me from going as fast as I did when I was younger. Actually, I've hurt myself a few times trying to exercise like a 29-year-old when I'm 67. Had to slow down a little bit. But by gum, I'll be back in those full Ironmans this year. So at least the halves. And what has happened is that I've been able to, and all the members of my family, use this material to really say, let's be done with the aches and pains. Let's be done with the lack of balance and the stiffness and the aging process. So we use it on a regular basis. It's just been an absolute astounding life experience from the product side. But even more important is the people we meet, the difference we get to make. We were asked by the founder of this company to take it to the world. It was originally offered to a drug company, and the drug company said, yeah, we'll give it, but you have to take everyone off who's ever been on it. And no one will ever see it again. Look at that kid's feet. Just let that memory work in your mind. If it can do that with those cells, where they find a way that the cells in your body can begin to communicate with each other, imagine every cell in your body finding a way. We live in a world that is more stressful, more polluted, and more difficult than any time in our lives. And we have a way to actually improve it in several ways. The first one is this whole technology side, and we recommend that if you see what we see, you might get some for yourself. Just makes sense. Those you love or loved ones, imagine having your own little grandson pouring coffee on his foot. And what are your options? It's very interesting. But so many other things. Now also imagine that we live in a world where we're being separated from one another, pulled to two ends of the spectrum. We have an opportunity here to pull together to make a difference. Not only do we make a difference in people's health, but we help them understand that when your health is taken care of, you can now focus on working outward from yourself. Then we can help them to have another option. And the other option is to use this long-term, keep yourself going. Don't be one of those who can't be a helper anymore. Once we get past that, we have an option where people can introduce others to the club. And we can just, if nothing more, find those who are in need. I remember the old Shriners Hospital where I worked there. And one of the most astounding things, if you've never been around those guys, the Shriners put together those hospitals for free for kids, fly them from anywhere around the world. They'll bring in the families. They'll put the kids in school. They have a special school there. We had as much as 30 days that we could concentrate on one kid's diagnosis. We were able to develop things because of the caring hearts of real people. I had to have, once I tasted that, I had to have more of that in my life. And this really, really does it in spades because it's a much broader spectrum that we can make a difference on. Certainly it's amazing in athletics and we love that. Or the anti-aging properties, because you know what? It's really more about living life to its fullest with the ability, we don't, God determines how long we live, but what if we live well? That's another option. Another option is the people who say, I just love the concept of helping people figure out how to heal themselves, how to get above the fact that there's these limitations in their lives and go on to something that's exceptional, just to be so exceptionally healthy. A fourth option that we provide is for people to be able to help distribute this technology. And we kind of build a fan club, a group of people who come together and share each other's experiences and work to try to spread this throughout the land. Here's a crazy thing. My family comes from Spokane, Washington. And our kindergarten teacher, we bonded together with her, and now there's hundreds, if not thousands of people in that organization. And then recently, she banded together with Gloria. And that has been one of the most promising pieces. We started in Spokane, and this actually was the largest distribution of this technology in the world, right here in Spokane, Washington. And now it's spread out to where we are working with people like Tima over here. And Tima is a first generation from Fiji. And imagine she's got people back home. And we spread our influence to Fiji and to New Zealand. There's a way to also take advantage of, really, you talk about investments. This has been so significant investment in our lives. 25 years ago, I built this hand-built log house that you see behind me on 60 acres. And my kids grew up here. And then my oldest son moved away. The other kids went off and had kids. And we went to various places, but there was always, I didn't realize there was such a connection to this house for them. We had to move 16 years ago. Well, it came time that the new owner was going to sell. They had done a whole lot of work on the place, kept it up beautifully, and put in a lot of money. We came back just to see it before it sold. And it turns out that they hit a gold mine in that it went down to 2 gallons a minute for the well. It was a dead well. It wasn't going to work anymore. And they dropped a well about 25 yards away, got 250 gallons a minute. And we just said, we're going to buy the place back. And as soon as we bought the place back, 16 years after we didn't have it, when my oldest son came through that front door and the memories came flooding back of his Christian upbringing, his life in the woods, a family that worked together and played together, he emotionally came home. So whatever it is for you that you need, is time or to make a big difference. Maybe you want to make a really big difference. I had one goal, and that was one of my goals, was to make enough money to be done with money, so that when time was required or energy was required, I never had to worry about the finances. I've done that now, and I'd like to pass that on to those who will. So I'm going to leave those options open. They're very simple to do. You can get together with the people who introduced this to you. And think about what we can all do together that we can't do separately. We can do so much good in this world. So thanks for having me, Gloria. Back to you.
Thank you, Terry. So I'm going to stop the recording